Hello, thank you for tuning in to this week's section of reads. This should be on the YouTube channel James13 Wicca, in case you're seeing it somewhere else. The decks and the dice, that information will be below. Other than that, if you'd like a reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below as well. Same email. Thank you very much for tuning in, and let's go ahead and get into your choice. Hello, Scorpio. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Scorpio? Scorpio. That's a little fun. Maybe that's yet to be. There's something. There's something. Okay. You don't have to be dealing with a Pisces. There could be somebody with Pisces traits, though, that's moving around you. Pisces tend to be very dreamy. They're very emotional. They have a lot of ideas, tend to be artistic, tend to be intuitive. I'm a Pisces. So I like Pisces, but I am one, so jaded, definitely. You don't have to be, but it's something like those. That's here. There's a lot of possibilities. The thing is, whatever you're dealing with, these are things that are right in line with what you want in life. And you can make a lot of things happen. You also seem to have the objectivity. Am I using that right? The way it's like, I feel like there's this big boulder in front of me and it's just written like, bam, objectivity. like before I go too far with things, I step back and I'm like, does this make sense? So you might have learned that the hard way, or maybe that's just how you do things. One of the two. I feel like there's objectivity here, to where, like, I'll give an example. It's kind of like before I get involved with a new friend group, it's one of those things where I know that they are going to look like they get along, or maybe some people look like they don't get along, but I need to make sure that I step back and be like, you know what? Give it some time to play out. Let me see what really works here, how these people actually get along. It's kind of like one of those things where you have people who, they seem like they don't get along, but it's just one of, like, maybe they bicker, and maybe that's their love language. I don't really like that as a love language. I don't even know if that's actually a love language, to tell you the truth. But they bicker. And it's kind of like, it seems like they're always at each other's throats. Then you realize later, like, no, that's how they get along. That's how they work things out. That's just, they're comfortable with each other that way. Doesn't matter if I agree with it or not. That's just what they do. So this objectivity is kind of like, we've probably learned it the hard way, because most of us do. But if you just intuitively know not to get involved in things until you see it play out, great for you. You're awesome. Love you. Keep it going. Keep it going with what? Okay. This viewpoint of yours, this is a very strong key to success for you, because it's kind of like, it looks great, feels great, sounds great, but let me pull back a little bit and just kind of see how it really acts. How does it act in the wild? How does it treat things in the wild? It's kind of like realizing, like certain animals, they're not a good idea to keep as domesticated pets, like tigers, for example, just for argument's sake. They're beautiful, they have their place, but in the wild, they're predators. So, having them hang out with the family, once in a while, they're going to do what they naturally do. There's just like, I have a cat, and, he has a predatory instinct. I've been asleep, and sometimes I've woken up to, like, teeth in my arms, because I don't know what he was doing, but that's happened. I'm just saying. Realizing what is naturally a part of this situation is a very heavy factor here. There's people like that where, they're pretty good people, but every now and then they just get a little unruly. Let's do that. it's just being aware of it. It's not saying anybody's a bad person. It's like realizing what potential and what tendencies they have. What are we dealing with here? This is a part of your objectivity in the sense of like, you might be keeping it to yourself. You might be playing it close to the chest. Like, I'm aware of that behavior. I'm also aware that we don't want to judge somebody on that behavior, but still, I feel like we need to keep it in the realm of like, they do this once in a while. Doesn't make them a bad person, but it's maybe something I need to keep an eye on to make sure that, you know, I don't want things that could go bad go actually really bad. So I keep my eye on it. Objectivity. I feel like objectivity is the word for this one. Objectivity. My mind is just flipping. It's like I feel like I have to flip my viewpoints every now and then. I have to go from here. How do I feel about it? Boom. How do I feel like if I was watching this play out for somebody else? How would that look to me? Like I have to keep switching. Like if I looked at the same situation, took myself right out of it, this was happening for somebody else, how would I view it then? And would there be any differences? And sometimes I know that I step out of a situation and I think of somebody I don't like, and I try to think of like, if this was happening to somebody I don't like, how would I feel about it then? If this was happening to somebody I'm kind of like, they're an acquaintance. Whether it goes left or right, that's their business, but how do I feel then? Stuff like that. So it's not just looking at it, how does this play out if I saw this happen to somebody I love? How does it happen? How do I feel about it if I saw it happen to somebody I don't care about? You're a key part of the success here. Key. And whatever it is, you do see great potential here. I do feel like you're also treading very carefully before you get too deep in this. You do seem to have this objectivity more at the moment. I feel like maybe this is a thing with Scorpio. The more you're a part of it, the deeper you get into it, the less likely to be objective it is, or the less. It's not as easy. It's not as easy to be objective the closer you get to it. Not as easy. Doesn't mean you can't. It's just maybe less easy. Less, there's something else. Less something. Less likely. I was trying not to say it that way. Less likely you're going to be objective. Less likely. There's people we like, and, when you like somebody, you just see it to their benefit because you like them. The longer it goes, I feel like Scorpio knows this. I'm not saying you like it, but I feel like y'all know that. The more you get to know somebody, the more you like them, or the less likely you're going to see it objectively. I feel like a lot of us, I'm not a Scorpio, but I'm a water sign. I feel like we kind of catch on, like, yeah, they got so far because I didn't want to see it for what it was. And then afterwards, you're like, yep, all those signs were right there. I just didn't want to see it. Yep, it was all there. Is this a turning point? Somebody gets out of the way. Turning point. Somebody gets out of the way. Whatever's going on in this whole situation, I don't see me expecting this. There's a turning point coming up. And Scorpio's pretty intuitive, but I feel like a lot of Scorpios, it's kind of like who you're dealing with, and your energy is more centered on who you're dealing with. Depends on you how that works. But this is kind of like, this is out of left field. This is something from left field here. Opportunity shows up. Somebody gets right out of your way. I don't feel like I was expecting that. I don't know. I keep getting that. I wasn't expecting that. And it's to the point where I'm like, I'm really like, a little like, are they really out of my way? Are they really out of my way? Because I didn't see that coming. Like, really? I feel like it's a little bit of a shell shock moment. Because when I see this coming in, I keep looking at it like, does that even make sense? Can they even do that? I keep going that direction. Like, something changed, and it was very, very drastic. You got the Seven of Swords, and you got the Temperance card. So it's like the Temperance card is just a random energy sometimes. It's neither good nor bad in this reading. But the Seven of Swords is like, I'm out. Nope, not picking up the mess, not doing anything. Just, I gotta go. I'm just leaving. It's like somebody getting halfway through a dinner and then just leaving. Just leaving. That's it. Just bye. And maybe not even the bye. They just get up and they just, oh, I thought they went to the restroom. They left. And they're not blocked. They're not responding to texts. So that's that. I just feel like I'm like, really? When this moment comes in, it does feel like it's a little harsh. I'm seeing this. This is like, it's a harsh moment. Somebody's just doing what they're doing. Done. An option is to keep moving forward and just kind of keep your eye open. I don't think it's coming back. Whatever, something gets right out of the way, and I don't think it's going to be a problem again. Things get uncommonly easy for you. Whatever that means for you. Uncommonly easy, to the point where I'm still like, it doesn't make me feel any more comfortable. It's kind of like it got right out of my way. This is really not that challenging right now. It all seems to be going into place. And I feel like some of you are going to step back and go, whose life is this? Is this my life? Like, how, what? Like, I feel like whatever, maybe it's the subject. I don't know, but I keep stepping back going, whose life is this? Is it my life? Like, this, what? Like, this never goes this well. Never goes this well. I feel like I'm really questioning it, like, this is really, really too easy for this subject for me. I'm really kind of caught off guard with it. Keep an eye on it. It's mostly to keep you in that place of peace, kind of like, they say this is how it's going to work out, but I'm just going to keep a lookout. I'm just going to keep checking. I'm just going to keep my eyes open just to be on the up and up with it. There's a mystery here that just something goes and then success comes in for you, and there's a very supportive energy. There's a very happy energy. This is a beautiful moment to take the best advantage of. They're like saying, enjoy it. Enjoy it. You got to do it how you got to do it. You got to keep your eyes open. That's cool. I don't think that's going to ruin your fun. I don't think it's going to ruin it at all. In fact, it might accentuate it because you have that extra confidence to like, yeah, I don't think this picnic's going to get ruined because I checked things before I came here. So there's no blind spots I left open. There's more possibilities coming in. There's something about not believing in it. Something about like the objectivity coming back really strong because I feel like I'm like, this is going too easy. This is linking up too well. It's just making me uncomfortable because it's uncommonly easy. This could be a person coming into your life and you're like, they're agreeing with almost everything I say. Like, what's up with that? That is gonna. I would say that was a red flag. I feel like personally, I think that's a red flag. When somebody agrees with every little thing you say, I feel like that's a characteristic of love bombing, isn't it? I feel like that's like. This is something where I feel like I need to get to know this person more. Okay. They are going along with almost everything you're saying, but there's a difference between love bombing and what they're doing. It could be a not so good behavior, only in the sense of like, it's almost like looking at a dessert tray and there's 5 different desserts and they're like, I'd be happy with any of them. Maybe they love the chocolate pie, just for argument's sake, but cheesecake is also good, and cannolis or whatever else. And you're like, oh, I'd like the cupcakes. And they're like, okay, that sounds great. They're not against the cupcakes. The cupcakes are still good. Is it their favorite thing on that rack? No. But you said cupcakes and like, still a dessert, still happy with it. I feel like whatever they're agreeing with you, they're like, yeah, that's good. I'm okay with that. That's not bad. That's not a bad choice. But they're maybe not being the most for whatever that word is. It's not coming to me. On the forthright, they're not putting it out there what they actually prefer. They're not sharing what they prefer. If you're like, I want this, they're like, yeah, that's a good choice. Because they could go along with it. Like, cupcakes are not bad. I like cupcakes. I like this chocolate dessert better, but I would go with those. And that's cool. It's cool. I'll go with it. That's here. The longer you get to know them, the more you're going to see that. I also feel with Scorpio, to sniff this out to see if this is really the case, you kind of want to turn it around, and you kind of want to try to get them, like, before that, like if you know the dessert case is coming out, for example, try to get them to decide what they want first before you just play the I don't know game. You choose this time, or I've seen this happen. It's not funny. I don't know why I'm laughing. I have to go to the restroom. The dessert cart's gonna come out in a minute. Just get one for each of us, and I don't really. I know they're all good. I just gotta go, and then just walk and go to the restroom, and then wait till they choose something and just see what happens. I think it's funny because it kind of puts somebody on the spot, but you can learn a couple different things in that moment. I don't know if that's fair, but it's kind of like putting them in the moment where, all right, they have to show what they like at this point. Also, you can also, like, how stressed did they get over this moment? And it's like if they're getting really stressed, maybe that's a conversation that needs to be had. Like, why are you so stressed about making this little decision? Not in a sense like we don't want to like hurt somebody and make them upset, but it's kind of like maybe this is something we need to talk about. Maybe this is a possible red flag that we need to just talk about. How do you feel? What's causing that reaction? What's going on here? It's the Ace of Cups is here, so it's a beautiful ending either way. But I feel like that last part was like, just in case it seems like something is like that could be a red flag, there's ways you can move it around to get them to make the decision where you're just not there to make it. Like, I'm not going to be here, make that decision and I'll be back. And it's like not only seeing what they chose, but like how are they emotionally responding to that. And you might learn a lot that might be very helpful to keep the success here. All right, I'm gonna shut this down here. Hope that helps. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.